up. I took Monday off. Friday and Monday. I went down for Hemingway days in Key West. There's a group, probably about 55. Yeah, I'll dress up. Yeah. They have a lot of different things. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. A lot of fun. Blair's not I think Eric, did Eric say he is?
Maritza is not going to be here. Maritza is not going to be here. Maritza is not going to be here. I just talked to her. She said that okay.
I'm aware.
All right, 7 o'clock evening, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. Today is Tuesday, July 23rd. This meeting is called to order. I just want to remind everybody that the board has implemented a board meeting decorum. I'm going to go over the rules again because I see some new people in here. So we're going to discuss the agenda items. If you'd like to participate in the agenda items, we'll open the floor. Everybody has the opportunity to speak once for a maximum of 3 minutes. Once you've had your opportunity to speak, you have to allow everybody else in the room to speak before you speak a second or third time. Anybody that hinders the ability of the board to conduct business and is disruptive will be given 2 warnings. After the second warning, they'll be asked to leave. Okay? So, review of prior minutes.
I'll have those to you. I'll have it to the board by the end of the meeting.
All right, so you can send it to us, but we won't be able to finalize the minutes for record. So we need to read it beforehand, and then we have to have it at the meeting, ask if there's anybody that they're correct, if there's any changes, and then we vote to accept This is for the regular monthly maintenance, phase one, with total outstanding past due of $5,165. Phase two, $2,184. Phase three, $33,325, and phase four, $11,503. Most of the past dues, I'm looking here, have gone to legal, meaning the attorney in their collection division is handling that. That's for just general maintenance. Then we have a past due prepaid account for the special assessment restoration, which was the $50 a month or whatever dollar a month it was, depending on how many units you had, with 2 unit owners in that, totaling $1,007. Then we have violation past due $1,599.30, and then for the insurance increase that happened, when was it, last year? Last year, that we had to assess. Phase one has $2,208 owed. Phase two, $2,619. Phase three, $4,777. And phase four, $1,766, for a total past due on that insurance increase of $11,370. And then this is for the restoration project. There's nobody in phase one. There's nothing in phase two. In phase three, there's nothing. In phase four, there's a small amount of $74. All right. So let's go to Secretary Elizabeth. What do you have?
Everything's been put on hold for a bit, just for me to get organized a little bit with my situation. This week, I'm calling a meeting with Communications Committee to get something up and going, especially now that we're having some constant construction meetings. So we'll have something out stacked.
Anything else, Elizabeth?
No.
For me, board discussion on plans to review the new Florida condo laws and determine any action items needed. Hopefully, board members have pulled the new legislation that came out. We have to get together, suggest a workshop. I'll give you some highlights of things that have changed. There is a new board member education that's in place for board of directors being within 90 days of being elected. Directors who were elected or appointed before July 1st, 2024 must comply with the above certification and education requirements by June 30th of next year. Written certification and education certificate are valid for 7 years after date of issuance and do not need to be resubmitted during that time, as long as they're in service and there's no interruption. Let's see. I mean, there's a lot. So, and there's also a whole section on record keeping. So I was at the legal update with the firm, our attorney. They held a legal update. I think Blair was part of that as well. And it was via Zoom. And so I asked Rhonda to send me over a list of all the records. So we're going to create a checklist of items that we currently have on our website versus what we need to have. I know from a management company, Mike, there are things that you guys have to do and collect for us. So there's a whole bunch of different things. It talks about board vacancies. It talks about inspection of condominium records, changes to penalties for kickbacks and conflict of interest. It talks about expanded grounds for disciplinary action, enhanced penalties for amending section 468, 436 Florida statutes. Prohibition against slap suits, hurricane protection changes, changes to disclosure requirements for resales and prospective purchasing, a whole lot. So I'm going to recommend that we get on a workshop and do a deep dive of this. Any questions that we have that we need clarification, we'll make a list and present it in an email to the law firm so that they Thursday still good days for people?
Let me look
Yeah.
at the calendar.
You know,
I'll look at a calendar.
I'll be late too. Well, how late is late? Maybe we can start the meeting a little later.
Okay. Except for next week. The week of the 29th?
Yeah. Well, hold on a second. Weekend of the 29th, so we're looking at the 30th. We can do it Wednesday, we can do it Thursday, you know.
Wednesday I'm not available. That's just me.
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
Wednesday I'm not available, not available Wednesday.
I agree.
Has everybody read the changes?
Yeah, I read.
I read this.
I read them, but I did not.
So, yeah, that would be something that please, and also print out statute 718 so you have it, so you can cross-reference it. I looked on the Florida website and the updates are not on, they're still showing 2023.
Right, I got to be 23.
Yeah,
Hey,
so,
Patty, I have a webinar, it's an hour and 14 minutes, Veteran Associates, that's pretty awesome, and it goes through everything, all the changes. I'm gonna forward the link to all the board members.
yeah, that's good.
great.
And you can sit through it, and it will teach you everything, on all the changes, and they discuss it all. I think it's a really good idea for everyone to listen to that, and then if you have questions
Yeah,
for that.
because, I mean, the session that I attended was good, but it was just a very broad overview.
No,
You have to
this
do a
one is,
deep dive.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a deep
it's an
dive.
hour and 14 minutes, and it's very thorough.
Because some of the new statutes refer to your conduct, your declaration, so
Correct.
do we follow statute or do we follow the declaration? So there's a lot.
And it covers all that in here.
Yeah. For example, I'll just give you an example where we would have to really figure this out. Notice a meeting other than an annual meeting. It says specified in your bylaws or if not specified, it has to be at least 14 days. So our bylaws, and I have, and here's another thing I recommend you do. Everybody has their condo docs.
I got them right here.
And if you've read the condo docs, which you should have already, you'll notice that the first section of your condo docs is the actual declaration of the condominium. That was done by the developer, and that's specified by letter D and a page number. Then the second section talks about the lease. Apparently, the developer used to lease this clubhouse back in the day to the community,
What
right?
section are you referring to?
Section L.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then there's a section M towards the end, and then the actual bylaws start on page. Well, it is a section, it's a continuation of D. So, this is gonna be a good exercise, because there could be stuff in our bylaws that are outdated, and that contradicts the statute, which doesn't give you the option, whether it's specified in the bylaws, and if it's not, then you follow the statute, but there are certain things that, we have to look. And the same thing when we go over rules and regulations, we're gonna start the discussion tonight. We're not gonna end it tonight, but we have to get started. This has been on the table for over a year. And we need to spruce it up a little bit and, make some recommended changes. I will also recommend that most of you have, I think all of you have it, because Blair emailed it, that you review it and you make some proposed recommendations and bring it to the table for further discussion.
You're talking about the rules and regulations?
Yeah, the
Right
draft.
now, for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so read it, make notes, make recommendations.
August first.
We want to do 7 o'clock. It may take several sessions, but that's why I want everybody to do a deep dive on your own and make notes. And then bring those questions to the table, and we can create one document that we can send to the attorney for clarification. All right, that's enough updates for me. Eric?
No, I think you answered my question. What I wanted to make sure is that we have everything on the portal that is required by the statute. So as long as we do it on next Thursday, I want to make sure that we have it. I want to make sure that the management team know when they send it as a PDF and not as a JPEG or anything like that. So I just want to make sure that.
Mike, you may know the answer. I know this is new to you guys as well, but there's something that contradicts in the new law. It says records from inception. We're talking about 1978. But then you're not required generally to preserve more than 7 years. So what is it? Do you
What
know?
is, no, what is what?
Okay. So the new
What is
language in the law, and this is something I'm not gonna take time, but the new language of the law, this is an example of why we need clarification. The new language of the law when it comes to record keeping says you should create and have available records from inception. In our case, we're a 40-plus-year-old association. Technically, the rule of thumb is you keep records 7 years. So what happens when associations doesn't have records from inception? The only records of inception we have are the declarations in the bylaw.
And I
And
think
the
that's what they're
survey and all that
referring to.
fun stuff that's in here. I guess this is it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they're referring
So
to.
well, that's just an
Something that-
example of
yeah.
what we need to clarify. It's very confusing, very confusing. Okay, Eric, you don't have anything else? All right, everyone, I want to introduce you to Hector Medina. Some of you may have remembered if you were here for the property insurance review when he provided the board and the union owners the great news of our drop in property insurance. We're coming up to budget season, and we've asked Hector to come to tell us to review, first of all, our loss run report for general liability, D&O, which is director of officers, and any other claims, because those claims, we need to be prepared for budgeting what that looks like. Because typically in the insurance world, when you have claims, you're pretty like you have a car claim or a homeowner's claim, you put a claim in, your carrier will come back and increase your insurance the next year. So he's gonna, Hector, so you wanna go ahead and take it over?
Fine, first we make it or not. Okay. So, what I want to do is first talk about property claims for the association, and I can tell you right now that you really don't have any. That we lose in our time, the property claims have been 0. And I want to commend Patty for, in respect to the reduction in premium that we had this year. A lot of it essentially was convincing the property insurance companies that the steps that the association has taken in respect to project management, the loss control, hiring an engineer to look at everything, all that have paid dividends, resulting in this reduction. And Patty was very, very dominant in staying on the case, on my case really, to make that argument. And that resulted in a reduction of $800,000 in premium to the association. I mean, that's dramatic. Thank you. Yeah. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to talk about losses. We will, in the spirit of transparency, which is something that the association wants, and so that there's no accusation of corruption of any sort or anything else, we are going to talk about these claims.
You should have been our last meeting.
So contradicting what you're saying. We're not going to speak about settlements, amounts, we'll talk names, because it's part of the record, you can always get these records, but you can't, we're not gonna talk about settlements, or the amount that we'll pay. We'll talk about the gross number, but we're not gonna talk specifics about who got what, a dollar, okay? So, on the directors and officers, the claim history is clean.
I'm sorry, can you walk us through your packet? You have that a lot.
Yeah. So the first part of the package is property claims.
Is that muted?
Yes.
This is property claims?
Yes. Yeah, she should have, put that down, she has it on mine, but not in yours, but yes, the first part is property claims. Okay? So the
And
next,
can you just for the record, explain
Yeah.
what property claims is?
property claim would be if you have a fire, water damage, hurricane, something where you have a, sudden unexpected, loss to the buildings. That primarily is property. Everybody understands that, right? You have a fire, you have water damage and so on. So the association has been blessed by not having anything really of any substance. And, so that's really solid. So that's the property claims. Any questions about property? No? Okay. The next one is directors and officers. And you recognize it from Philadelphia Indemnity, which is a premier carrier in the directors and officers. This insurance is the policy that protects the association and the board of directors from the accusation that they made a mistake. Nobody would serve on the board if they didn't have this policy because their personal assets would be at risk. Not only are they here tonight doing the work of the association, but essentially you can imagine how little interest they would have in doing this work if they could be personally liable. So this policy is intended to protect every board, every past board, current board, or future board from the accusation that they made a mistake and they are liable for it. Kind of mistakes we're talking about is breach of contract. They fire somebody and the person sues them. Somebody wants to live here and they have a bad criminal history or they're not a good person and they decide they can't let the person live here. For whatever reason, that is also something they could bring a lawsuit. It could be something as silly as the color of the building being colored. Somebody may not like it. If you know anything about associations, you know that there are people who live in associations and are not real happy, and they bring claims all the time, right? I mean, every association, I handled 350 associations. I don't know how many times I've been involved with stuff like that. I had an association where somebody was taking videos all the time, they're already meeting and then suing them. Yeah, well, we're gonna talk about that. But in any event, so the board has to be protected against that, right? Because at the end of the day, you want regular order, and you want things to progress, and for things to be civilized, and people to live here, and enjoy, and equity to go up, not down, right? So these are things you need. So, on the director's office's claims, my industry is pretty clean, it said we have one claim. And this particular claim, in the spirit of transparency, was brought by Sean Martin.
And spirit of transparency, why are we doing this?
We're gonna bring up every, we're not
Can you help me with the
gonna
page?
talk about settlements or amounts, we're not gonna do that.
Can you help me with the page number?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody
Where are
asked.
we?
This new law says no slaps.
The last page before the end is a claim that's in here.
Next page.
Yeah, the next to the last page,
Second to last page.
second last.
I see.
And you see the name, you see the thing, and it was for a breach of fiduciary duty. They went up and not being paid, so I'm sorry.
Which is a new law too, about what fiduciary responsibility of board members.
Yeah, absolutely. But the point is that it wasn't paid, and it's on the track record, so this is
Correct.
one of the claims.
And I'm
So
not gonna want-
how does that,
Yeah.
let me ask you something.
Yeah.
So although it wasn't claimed,
Yeah.
how does insurance companies look at when we go for renewal? When
Yeah.
somebody attempted to file a claim?
So when the directors of all officers' claims occur, it's a legal defense thing that the association is defending. And that means even if the claim is fraudulent, without merit and so on and so forth, the insurance companies look at it in a negative way. They don't care that the thing was defended and that they prevail. All they care about is that they have to pay a certain amount of money. So the more D&O claims you have, the more difficult it will be. You might run with a high deductible, the premium will rise. And D&O is one of the most fragile types of coverages in Florida. because premiums are not great. Premiums tend to be $2,000, $1,500, and so these companies break the business and they split. They take a nosebleed and they leave. So you got to be cognizant of D&O and try and keep the claims down as best you may. They don't really care that the claim is real or doesn't real. They don't look at it that way. So you know what lawyers cost, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's a lot of money. So anyway, that's the way it works. You want to be careful with D&O claims because these carriers are coming low and it gets very expensive. And you've got to be protected. The board and the association has to be protected. Okay? So that's the directed offices. Any questions about that? Okay, cool. All right, the general liability.
Is that James River?
It's currently it's James River, but historically it was Philadelphia. So Philadelphia was writing the liability for many, many years, right? And they go back, if you look at the law firms, they go back all the way to the year 2015. So the second page shows you the losses, okay? So in 2015, the loss record is clean.
I'm listening to you. Keep going on.
Yeah, okay. In 2016, the loss record is clean, no losses. Now, let's set liability losses, right? What are they? What it is third-party bodily injury, third-party property damage. So if somebody were to slip and fall tonight in this place, that's a bodily injury. And the association then could get sued by the person who got hurt. The other thing is the unit owner can suffer loss to the unit. Could be water damage, could be pipe breaking, could be a number of things. And they could bring a claim. Most claims in association business, condominium business, is unit owner against association. Not guests, not visitors, not third parties, but unit owners. That's the primary reasoning of liability claims. Now, liability claims are really important to keep track of because this type of coverage can go away, can be very expensive, and can be very problematic. So you do want to keep these claims down. Anybody have any questions about liability insurance? No? Okay. So now you go to 18 to 19, and then no claims. Now we get to 19 to 20, and we have a claim. And this is a claim from, and I'm just going to say the name of the two claims. One is from Volano, Liz Volano, and then Adriana Hugway. Now, all these records are really available with a records request, so that's why we're going to talk transparently. We're not going to talk any amounts, okay? We're going to avoid that because that's a privilege situation. Both of these claims have to do with liability in respect of water damage, something like that. Water damage is the primary thing to worry about. These claims wound up being not paid. So the insurance company denied the claim, thought they were not good substance, and it went away. So those are two claims, though, in the history. Now, you go to 20 to 21, clean. 21 to 22, clean.
A question for you,
Yeah.
on 20 to 21,
Yeah.
why would it say unknown claim? You know, so-
Because they had somebody started something, then didn't pursue it.
Okay.
So sometimes you have a thing where a lawyer will write and say, something happened 3 years ago, nobody in the association knows anything about it. It's like some mystery, so that's what that is. And it turned out to be without, the lawyer never followed up, and it went away. All right? And with liability, you could have a claim today that happened 10 years ago. Somebody, says, I hurt my car 10 years ago, I didn't say a word, but that ain't bothering me, I'm gonna bring a claim. It's an occurrence policy, right? So that's why you could have a claim like that. Now, 21 to 22 is clean. Now we begin to get into claims. 22 to 23, Elena Salazar brought in a claim. And this claim was paid. We're not gonna talk about the amount, but it has to do with water damage to a unit, like that. In the year 23 to 24, we have Sean Martin again bringing a claim, Beth Haynes, Miriam Torado, Christopher Sigler. All these claims happened this year. Primarily they have to do with water damage to a unit, which is being addressed now with the new roofs and everything else that you're doing. We have one claim that has to do with mold within a unit, which got settled today. at this current time. So now the grand total of all these claims is $118,000 total. Now, that's a big number, and the thing that's happened in Philadelphia has got off the account, James River is on it now, and for this year, we've been in good shape, we've had no claims. Now, because of the amount of claims, logically, the premium is probably gonna go up next year. May go up by 30% to 50%.
Well, then, don't have issues, it's mostly issues.
No, it's gonna go up because it's happening now, the renewal is in February, so it's gonna happen in
For the
February.
property claim?
No, the GL, liabilities of February renewal.
Well, that one GL that I saw was an incorrect claim on there. That was a property claim. It was mislabeled.
You could have a third
Oh,
party.
the mobile.
You could have a third party.
Never mind, I take that back.
That's okay. The point is come February next year, when this renewal comes up, you likely will have a rate increase, and you wanna be a little careful with liability, because you gotta be protected against people getting hurt, bringing claims. So your situation in this case is not so good. And you just gotta keep an eye on it. Hopefully the manager will do a great job, right? Keep the claims down.
But, let me stop you here. All this claims is because of property management.
And negligence.
Yes.
Years of negligence.
So
Well,
let me stop you there, we still have the same property management.
yeah, but my thing is not to get into a political, issue.
fine.
My
But you
thing
say
is,
thanks to property management.
I'm saying property managers-
Then we have all these.
well, property managers are going to keep the claims down to the next property, keep things going. And this current year, right now, the losses are better. But I'm just saying, over the term, the claims are bad. I prefer that people have a conversation than to bring in a claim necessarily, because you all live together, right? You all gotta get along together.
So when you
Right.
get damages
When it
like
goes
that,
for years.
like that,
Yeah.
hey, what are you gonna do about that?
Okay.
I don't know anything about that. Oh,
I'm
that's-
more interested in finding out the financial impact. What should we budget for?
Right.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to budget maybe 50,000 for the premium for liability next year,
Just for general
just
liability?
for the liability.
What is
How
it
much is
now?
Is that again?
What is it now?
Right now, it's 36,000, somewhere around there, at a minimum 50,000.
And how about the DNO and,
But the directed office is probably gonna be about maybe 2,500, 3,000.
okay.
And the property's $500,000, it's 500,000. And I think the property, as long as you keep doing what you're doing, it's gonna be about the same,
No, but the problem, I'm talking about the renewals in February,
Liability,
because we have
yeah.
to plan,
Okay,
we're
but the liability, do you know, is up some maybe 2,500, 3,000, liability 50,000.
so
Crime
we
is
should
small.
plan on 50,000
Yes.
for general liability,
Yeah.
DNO
Yes.
roughly 3,000.
Yes.
What else
You
renews in
have
February?
crime insurance, which is relatively low. My point of view is you should conserve and budget high, and then come in low. That's always a good feeling, and not go the other way, they have a surprise. The crime is 1,179.
All the numbers.
Okay,
Can we,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, I'd say 50,000 for the liability. I think for the crime, $1,200, $1,200 for crime. Legal expense is $2,500. That's a policy to protect you against having a denial of a claim. The director's offices, you should go to 3. It's now 2006, it should go to 3. Workers' comp, $509. That's about right, it's not gonna change. You have an umbrella. Umbrella is $2,485, I would increase it to $3,500 because of all the claims you have. So, do you have all the numbers?
You said the umbrella is 35?
Yeah, $3,500. I will.
The workers' comp.
Workers' comp,
Workers'
50?
comp at $509. Yeah, it's a if any workers' comp policy. Yeah.
when will you go out to market?
We go out to market 90 days in advance, but insurance companies don't put it to 30 days before.
So
They-
if I remember correctly, it's February 7th,
It
our
is.
policy?
2/1, very
Oh,
first.
February 1st, so
Right.
January, so the end of the year, December, you should have something.
Yeah, you normally don't, insurance companies don't quote it the year, it's gonna be first week of January, second week.
The quote,
Yes, the proposal, yeah. They don't like to quote too early, because you have litigation, you have an action, you have something, they like to get closer. They don't want to close, it's not like being in Chicago, Philadelphia, Buffalo, where you get a quote, 3 months in advance. Because here, so many things can happen, the insurance company running closer to the renewal date.
Okay,
Yes.
so just for me,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of
Yeah.
budget.
Yes.
We're gonna start putting out, getting the accounting
Yeah.
schedule for, we usually start late October, actually sometime in the middle October,
Yeah.
because we usually have several reviews. So, I'm just gonna repeat the numbers, just, these are conservative numbers, or these are worst case
Yeah.
scenario in your opinion?
Yeah.
Okay, so general liability, we'll budget for 50,000.
Yeah.
D&O 3,000,
Yeah.
private insurance 1,200, legal 2,500, workers' comp 509,
Right.
and what was the last one?
Umbrella.
Umbrella, 3,500. Did I forget anything?
No.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Are there any questions from the board for Hector?
Yeah.
We had Philadelphia,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Why didn't we go with Philadelphia?
Why did you go for the?
Why didn't we go with Philadelphia?
Because they got off the account, because of losses. They never renewed the policy.
Okay, so they're non-renewals because of the policy.
Yes, the losses. Philadelphia is one of the strongest companies, A+ rated, admitted paper, huge company. They just said, no more, we're getting off liability. They're being very much more careful. Yeah.
In general, though, like in
general.
general,
Yeah.
in the field. not
Yeah, they're being
general.
very much more careful.
Gotcha.
To dovetail off this, just to show you the negligence, I got attorney's letters going back to Waxhaw, my
All
attorneys.
right, this is not about you.
Hi, I got the floor right now,
This
sorry.
is not
No,
about you.
sorry, we're talking about
This
insurance.
is not about you.
Hey, excuse me,
This
this
is
no,
not
no.
about
You're
your
a volunteer
personal
just like me,
experience.
sorry. Look, remember
Does
this?
anybody in the audience have
I
questions
asked for
for
to make
Hector?
here, and you cut me off. She cut me off.
Does anybody have any questions?
Does anybody have any questions for Hector? Okay, does the
See?
board have questions? We don't want your personal experience.
No,
Do you
this is
have a
what the
question
environment
for
is here,
Hector?
negligence.
Do you have a question for Hector?
Not right now, not because you cut me off and I
Is
lost my train of thought.
there anybody else that has a question for Hector? Before we let him go, I don't wanna hold him back.
Yeah, I've had a long day, and I'm working on a very large case for the first. My day is always the same, I do 80,000 things all day long, you know, kinda like that, I guess, right? But the thing is, I'm privileged by the opportunity to speak to you. You may always, reach out to me, you can call my cell, I'm here to help you, I work for you, for everybody here. And I would love to see more amicable situations, you know?
We always do.
Yeah, because we live in a beautiful place. At the end of the day, we wanna move the thing in a positive way, and, you know, which is difficult, but it's important, you know? This is a beautiful place. Once you get these buildings all done, right, I mean, it's gonna be great.
Bob,
Yeah.
internal issues that-
And remember, $800,000 reduction, that's huge.
It is.
Huge. I mean, I've never got such a big reduction in any association. So that's because of the board, and the efforts of the board and the work you're doing to get forward. The insurance company said, this is a good thing. So it's a good thing. So getting it hard, because you gotta do all the stuff. It's like hard work. But at the end of the day, you're gonna be in a more beautiful place and things get back to normal. And listen, there's a lot of associations out there who are paying a tremendous amount. You look at the literature, you Google, and people are dying out here, struggling. So, anyway, so that's the story. Any questions at all?
No,
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Hector.
you. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
I hope to go home, my wife may recognize me, I don't know. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right, we go on.
Safe travels.
Yes, we go on to new business, update of vetting process for new management company.
Yes, we did research on the Mary
Good evening, everyone. Team Sean and